All right, today I'm gonna be talking about Bofuri. I don't want to get hurt, so I'll max out my defense. Should you buy? Should you invest? Um, Short answer is yes. If you saw my video last week on the market update, you would have wanted to buy that last week because this week is a good luck trying to get it. So hopefully you got it last week. I think there should be still some out there. I don't want to say it's the end of the world, but if you're planning on doing it, you should do it soon because it comes out end of May, right? So you only have May 21st. You have about 5 weeks roughly to get that. Again, so what I do is I run through a checklist in my mind if I should buy to play or go further and invest. Normally, what I do is I take a look at the tier list from PGH Weiss Schwarz. They got it out there. Go ahead, check them out. This set is a middle of the road set. It's missing some pieces that would make it a more complete set. But again, I think if you watch the anime, reading some of these cards, it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. You know, a lot of it revolving around Maple as it should. Um, yeah, if you haven't checked out the anime, you should go check it out. I mean, it's a pretty fun anime. It's got a girl and her best friend playing an MMORPG. Maple has no idea how to play one of these games. This is her first time. She was relying on Sally, who is here to teach her through that, but Sally couldn't just because she had schoolwork. I forget, she got grounded for grades or she had to do a test or something, but whatever the reason, she couldn't get into the game right away, so Maple had to figure stuff out. As Maple was trying to figure out stuff, trying to learn the game, she did some crazy things, things that you normally wouldn't do if you played games like this before, so complete newbie, and that leads to a few adventures involving a bunch of these people, her eating lots of things, hanging out with a turtle, and having outfits in wool. So a lot happened in that anime, a lot of things you probably wouldn't have thought of, but it was a fun, good time. So why I say all this about it's a middle of the tier thing, and normally that's a negative, and in the short term it is a negative. But what I like to do is, again, you think about the future, right? So right here we have an announcement that Bofuri is going to see a season 2 anime, and most likely in my mind, right, since it did well, Weiss Schwarz wise in Japan, and it's seemingly doing well in the English version just by the amount of stores that are selling out. Again, I just look online. I don't have an LGS. I don't have distributor information. I have no clue. But from what I see, this thing is being bought out by whoever it is at this point, right? Again, I'm not going to say it's people like buying this stuff up because, again, this is on the surface. If you don't watch anime and you're just some guy that's just trying to raise prices, I don't think most people knew that this was going to do all that well. So, popularity wise, strong popularity for this anime. Again, it's going to see a season 2. I highly doubt, with all that happened, that it's not going to show up in Weiss Schwarz for a second time. Because of that, you may have some holes in the current set that might be filled by this second set. So if you're looking to invest in it, that might give you a reason to look towards the long term. What we also do have here is the return of sign cards. So again, what happened in English, my wife is mowing the lawn and there's some weird sound that's happening right now. I could tell you my wife lawnmower story, but probably not the time for that. It was not one of my memorable moments. Let's just say there's a bunch of blood, and if you imagine a lawnmower and blood, there's only so many different stories you can tell that leads to that result. It wasn't a good time. It was, let me tell you, that was a good time. So now I kind of just make sure I listen as she does it. She likes mowing the lawn. So I'm going to tell you, my wife likes mowing the lawn because she likes getting the extra steps. Yeah, she likes the exercise. She didn't even want to buy a riding lawnmower. just because she wanted to do it that way. So it saved me money. I don't have to go out there. I don't have to sweat. Life is good. Win-win. Anyways, we're going back here. We're getting back to the sign cards. Um, that's what blew me away. If you watched that video last week, for whatever reason, booster boxes of this thing at the online stores that I watch sold out, but the trial decks stayed. And again, if you watch Weiss Schwarz, their video series on Bofuri, you'll find out the trial deck isn't the greatest. You don't need a card in there from uh, like Data Live. Like Data Live had a card in there, the Toka card that you needed. Where in the trial deck for this one you didn't, but if you take a look at the prices of the sign cards that you can get inside, totally worth buying. So finally, I think as of yesterday, the last store that I watched finally sold out of trial decks. I picked up a bunch of trial. So if you know where I'm going with this, I picked up a bunch of trial decks. I bought a bunch of booster boxes, and again, I like this anime. I love it. I love the adventures of Maple and Sally. This is Sally after she goes on her fun date where they drink liquids and have a good time. That's why her hair is all colored, right? Um, so these are the trial deck cards. These are the booster deck sign cards, and as you can see, they hold up their value pretty well. The Maple and the Sally's, and then you also have this SEC Maple as an angel. So as a set, from what I'm looking at, I don't have any real worries about this doing well. It's super popular. Got signed cards. Yeah, maybe middle of the road, but it's still a fun set to play. And at the end of this day, we're going to look at this is a card game, a collectible card game. The cards are very collectible, and as a set, it's very fun to play. Again, middle of the road tier wise, but if there is a season 2, which I think there will be, then that shouldn't be a problem. So right now you can get signed cards. You can have a fun set to play with. If you want to play competitively, you can go grab your Raise Zero. You can grab your Data Live and play with that, right? Or your Adventure Time. Go play with your Adventure Time competitively, and then wait for a year or two from now, and then you'll have your Bofuri Season 2 to jam into this one and make it that much stronger. So that is basically it in a nutshell. Go ahead and buy this. Definitely for me, I am a buy and invest. If you haven't bought any yet, please make sure you do, because, again, Facebook, I'm seeing people are struggling to get some of this stuff, which leads to the question, will this be reprinted? I highly doubt it. Again, if they do, that'd be amazing, because if I don't get some of these cards, like I really want the Sally. Out of all the cards from the booster boxes, this is going to be the one I want. I mean, Maple here too. I mean, it's a SEC, but on the regular signature cards, I'm going to be looking for Sally. I hope I get Maple here on the trial. I want both of them, but I would definitely like to have Maple. Maple is just an amazing character, and I would definitely want a signed card from her. I mean, between the two of these, I like the trial deck Maple better. So again, reprint wise, why I don't think it's going to happen. People look at the competitive side, so you're not going to have a bunch of people buy it for competitive reasons. You'll have collectors that want this. So I don't think there's going to be that demand when you saw Data Live, right? You also have people's money being sucked out of them. What I mean by that is you have a reprint of Data Live. That's out there. You have a reprint of Data Live, and then you also have a bunch of strong sets coming out. You have Kaguya, you have Heaven's Feel 2, you have Seven Deadly Sins, which everybody's excited for. So, and then you have Sword Art Online, you have Slime 2, Morphonica, probably not, but everything else, right? Do people really want to pour money into Bofuri? I don't think so. So reprint wise, I don't see it happening. I don't. If you told me that Data Live wasn't getting a reprint, well, that's the whole thing that started all that we're even having this conversation. So no, Bofuri to me won't get a reprint. If it does, I'd be the first in line to be horribly shocked. But I don't believe it's gonna happen. Sorry. So make sure you get it if you need it. Anyways, I hope this was very helpful. Have a great rest of the week.